Scene Mom says, welcome to the new podcast from former Phoenix radio host Danny Cutler. Each week, bringing you independent music, industry news, the occasional interview, and other fun segments. Let's get to it. Mom says hello and welcome to episode 84. I'm Danny, your host and Scene Mom, and as always, I'm so grateful that you joined me. This week, I have a fun and informative interview with my friend and partner in crime, Michael Zimmerlich. He has been in the music business for nearly 20 years, and I met him back in 2016 when he was running 80/20 Records. So, hey, I fit the 2016 trend. Yay! That has now evolved into Omelette Prevail. It's a creative management company serving music, pop culture, and lifestyle brands. He also hosts the weekly Creatives Prevail podcast, which takes an in-depth look into the origin stories of creators, their representatives, founders, and marketers. His latest episode is a really cool chat with former co-president of Warner, Livia Tortella. I can't recommend his show enough, and yes, I will have a link to all of it in the show notes. There's no music this week. I wanted the focus to be fully on the interview, and I brought Mike on specifically because he is so thoughtful and very practical when talking about topics such as AI, and it offers a good counter perspective than what I usually drone on about. This is going to be a two-parter as well, so next week will be the second half. I hope you enjoyed the chat as much as I enjoyed having it. All right, here on episode 84 of Scene Mom Says, and I'm very happy. I made a New Year's resolution, sort of. A New Year's intention. Resolution is too finite. So I made an intention that once a month this year, I will have a guest on the show, at least once a month. I mean, I can do more, but I wanted to give myself that little goal. And we're starting here in January. And I figured the easiest way to kick this off is with one of my best friends in the whole world, who I know can almost never, ever, actually, he can't say no to me. He just can't. I have Mike Zimmerlich here from Omelette Prevail and Creatives Prevail. Hi, Mike.
Oh, thank you. Hello. I appreciate those kind words. That means a lot to me. And yes, that is correct. You are one of the few people I can never say no to, ever. It's like, Mike, you want to be on the show? Yes, whatever. Just let me know. I'm here.
Mike, can we record tomorrow instead of today?
Yeah, that actually literally happened too. I'm like, yeah, let me check my calendar. Boom.
Yes. So thank you for helping me kickstart my 2026 intention.
Of course. I like that word intention. I want to take that because resolution, you're right, is that's so finite, and throughout the entire year, your goals will change, right? So whatever you had on the onset for what your goals are, that might change like in a month, 2 months, 6 months, who knows? So I like intention because it gives you that flexibility of, okay, these are good intentions of how to start off the year right, and then you can adapt and adjust as you go along.
Yeah, it's like, this is what I want to do. Here I am at the end of December or early January going, here's what I want to do. But like you said, who knows what's going to happen? I could have this intention to have one guest on my show every month, and I don't have a show for a month. I mean, I don't want that to happen. So knock on wood, that's not going to happen, but anything can happen, right? So, you have the intent, but with resolution, resolve, resolute, goal, it's like, it just sets you up for failure, if you ask me, because if you don't do it, then you're like, shoot, I failed.
You really are correct. You did fail, but I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. As long as you're making progress and as long as you are happy and satisfied with the work that you're doing, I think that at the end of the day, that makes the most sense. At least for me, that at least works better.
And you're not a failure if you don't do the thing you set out to do. I mean, if I don't have a guest in February, did I fail? Should I just shut my podcast down? No.
Oh, true. But there is a difference between failure and failing. Those are two different things. So failure is essentially if you are down on yourself and you give up on something for the wrong reasons. Failing is I set out with my I'm going to use intention to do this, which is in this case, have a guest every single month. if you missed, let's say next month, for example, you did fail in what your intent was.
It just
But
hurts to hear that.
But that's not a bad that doesn't
I
necessarily mean
get
it's a
it.
bad thing.
No,
You might find out that, hey, you know what, this is too distracting for me to try to keep on making sure I have a guest on my podcast every single month. Or maybe I decide that I'd rather keep myself open to whenever I feel like having a guest on when it makes sense to do so, instead of having it at a set time every single month to have one.
yeah,
Maybe it's this month there's none, then maybe the next month there's two, the month after that there's one, then there's none again, or maybe there's every single episode has a guest because there's a lot going on. So you might find that works out better for you too.
Mike is going to
So
be my guest every month on the CMOM session.
yeah, sure, why not? I know how hard it is because of the Creatives Prevail podcast, which I appreciate you mentioning at the beginning, because mine is solely, for the most part, interviews. And
Yeah.
that's a weekly show. So I know how hard it is. I had to take off 3 months to catch back up again.
Yeah.
So I
I was
get
going
it.
to say, so yeah, I mean, if you run out of guests or you're waiting on potential guests to get back to you or whatever, you just don't record a show, huh?
Well, I usually will find a couple of things. So sometimes I'll have evergreen episodes in the back burner. So those are things such as other interviews that I've been a guest on. So I've done this before. You have been gracious to allow me to
Oh,
use
yeah.
interviews I've been done on KWSS and on this podcast too, and then repurpose them and then re-release them. So a lot of times I'll hold on to those for those case scenarios where I have an issue with scheduling or something along those lines. Sometimes I'll just take a break if I find myself getting behind. I'll just simply take off,
I've
which
done
I
that.
try to avoid. But I've only done that a couple of times, mind you. In fact, 3 months off is the longest since I've done the podcast for the last 5 years. That's been the longest I've ever taken a break. The longest was last year for about a month or so. And then ever since then, I've been consistent about releasing weekly. But I also have a backlog. I just released in fact, yesterday I released the first episode after the 3 month break, and still have about 4 or 5 more in the can already of interviews. So I have about a month of runway to make sure that I can schedule more interviews and get those episodes out the door. Plus, I have a couple of things going on that I can also repurpose. So evergreen content definitely helps.
Oh yeah. See, I just end up taking a couple weeks off here and there, like I did over the holiday. I didn't do a show for a couple weeks. And the difference though is that with the music news, I try and be as current as possible. So there's a lot
Mhm.
that I can't really put. There's not a lot of evergreen because of that aspect of it alone, right? Unless I take it out. So a little different, but so far I've been good. I mean, episode 84, that's not bad for
That's impressive.
years.
Yeah, that's amazing. I mean, you're not that far off from number 100, and that's a huge milestone.
I know it's crazy. Will you come back for episode 100?
You said at the beginning, I
No,
can't
you
say
can't
no.
say
So, of
no.
course, the answer is yes.
So, Mike, I'll see you for episode 100. Oh, goodness. So, all right. The reason that I had wanted you on the show, anyways, because you have been in the music industry for a very long time. You know, it's been what, 12, 13?
16 years.
16. There it is. I knew I was getting close. If I kept going up, it would have
Over 16 years, actually, now. I think it's like close to 18 now. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah. I mean, I remember your former label 80/20 Records and the 10-year anniversary, which I think was like 2016 or 2017.
2018.
20. I see, if I keep going up, I'll get there.
Yeah, 2018.
Yeah. So there we go. I mean, it'll be 20 years in for that in 20.
Yep.
So yeah.
2028. Yep.
Yeah. So you've been in the industry for almost 2 decades, which is wonderful. And that's why I wanted you on in the theme of New Year and having those intentions. On the industry side, I don't know if musicians really think about it that much. They just kind of keep doing their thing and, you know, they'll do their releases and everything. So I wanted to talk about, it'll be a multifaceted thing in a place where, I mean, I talked about on my show recently how AI music it's just starting to take over a little more and more in the streaming. And I even mentioned in one study, 92% of people didn't even know they were listening to AI music. So, you know, the music is only going to improve, if that makes sense. I can hear musicians now going, no, it'll always suck. But you know what I mean? The technology improves. So therefore they can imitate it even better, you know, that you know, real music even better. So it's for independent artists, especially. I mean, if you're, you know, a Justin Timberlake or a Taylor Swift or something, this really isn't a big concern for you, right? But independent artists, it is a very big concern because the more that things get flooded by AI, it just makes it harder for them to have their music heard on any streaming platform. So one of the things I wanted to talk about is things that artists can do to have their music be seen, have it be heard, the marketing aspect. And then after that, we can go into some of the business side of it, how artists can diversify and help their whole business side a little bit better. And you also mentioned before we started is that there is some good to this AI thing. So I can't wait to hear that. But for right now, let's get into 3 things on the marketing and promo end that artists can do to be seen, be heard, get eyes and ears on their music. So you want me to start?
Yeah, you can start.
Okay, I'll start. So where's my number 1? It's a real basic thing, and it is checking all of your profiles. I don't mean just on social media. I mean your streaming profiles, your Linktree profile. Everywhere you have a profile, you need to make sure that it's updated and that it's consistent on each profile, and that no matter where somebody is like Googling you or searching for you, you're going to pop up.
I agree. I think for making sure that honestly, just a nice scrub of updating everything, right? I'm going to even double down on that. And your website, your link tree. Do you have broken links on your link tree that I forgot that was there.
Do you have a release from 5 years ago that's still hanging out on your link tree?
That's exactly correct. Because you know what? People do pay attention to those things, especially people in the industry. So you want to make sure that all those things across the board are updated. And if they have not been updated in a while, then you may want to consider, okay, maybe it's time for a new logo. Maybe it's time for some new photos, and maybe time to do kind of a refresh on things to show that to show your fans that you're active.
Yeah.
Right. And also new fans too, to show that, hey, I'm consistently doing things, because that's very important, especially for these days.
I have seen photos too, like band photos and stuff that haven't been updated, and maybe they don't have the same drummer anymore, or they change guitarists, or, there's things like that too. So like you said, if somebody in the industry who's looking for music, or a publication who's trying to learn more about you goes to your site and they have the wrong photo of the band, that's a problem. They notice that, and they will remember that, and they'll say, they're not being serious. You want people to be serious and professional.
And keeping a list. Just make a checklist, to-do list, spreadsheet, I don't care. Just pick something, and just keeping track of every single site that you want to make sure that it's being maintained. Yep. And because a lot of times, I mean, this happens to myself too, you realize, oh, that's right, I have a YouTube channel. I don't really use it much, but it probably should have that updated too, right? Or there's tons of smaller sites that you have that might have some sort of presence in that you normally don't really keep active on, but it's still relevant. Obviously Facebook, I mean, you'll talk all day about Facebook stuff. So like, maybe it's your Facebook page, Bandcamp, which we'll talk about in a second, right? Do you have a Bandcamp page that you also want to make sure has updated information and updated content?
True, especially Bandcamp. And I know we're going to get to that, but that's a profile. I mean, I go there all the time just to find music for the show. I go there so much when a new release is out, because I want to support the artist. So I'm ready to pay. I'm ready to give my $2 or whatever and pay for those singles. And I'll go there, and it'll be something from 2023 is the last thing that they put on Bandcamp, because they're just not thinking about it. But yeah, you're exactly right. A running list of everything, so that when something new comes out, boom, 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 you just go through and you can update where you need to.
The other thing too, which is nice when you're doing those things, is that many times these platforms have new features that you may not always be privy to. So now as you're updating things, you go, oh, what's this? And sometimes they promote it, sometimes they don't. And you find this really cool, interesting tool that they've now added that you had no idea was even there. Yeah. And that might help you out in different ways. Maybe, who knows what that could be, but they do that all the time. Every time I go in and update something, I go, ooh, this is something new. Yeah. What's this?
Yeah, it's very cool. You don't have to put a lot of effort into it, but I know a lot of artists, even like on Instagram, especially if there's shows or a new video coming out or a new release, they'll update their profile for it, which I go both ways on that. Not everybody is automatically looking at your Instagram profile to see this stuff. They're just seeing the posts. So I don't think you really need to update it as much as you think if you're an artist, but then they forget that they've updated it. And a show from 6 months ago is still there in the profile. And that doesn't look very good either.
Do you know if Instagram does promote people if they update their descriptions often? I don't know.
I don't know. That's a very good question. I'm going to Google it right now.
Because I'm curious if they do, if they like it when you are updating the profile, or is it inconsequential, or they prefer you keep it the same. So that's something to be considered as well. But I do agree with you. Not a lot of people are going to actually go to the profile itself. But at the same token, though, for the people that are going to your profile, is showing that you're doing again, that you're
Yeah.
active. You have an
Yeah.
active release, you have an active show or an active tour, but you have to keep it updated.
I have an answer. Thanks
Well,
for
you do,
talking
you
while I
do.
was Googling.
Okay.
The AI overview, good old Gemini, says
Mm.
no, Instagram does not like you to update your profile all the time. The
Mm.
key is posting that high quality, engaging content and interacting with the audience.
Okay, then.
So there you go, artists. You don't have to just put one consistent profile on all of your accounts, everywhere that you have an account that has a profile, and leave it unless something
Yeah.
significant changes.
Change your landing page wherever you're directing people to, whatever the landing page is. It could be Linktree, your website, whatever the case is, but that's where you talk about all that stuff.
Yep, yep. There we go. Asked and answered. All right. So that was just number one, guys. So, number two of the three things that artists should do to get more eyes and ears on their music, we're going to talk about short form video a bit. That has really taken off over the last couple of years. Things 15 to 30 seconds, just, quick hits. I've even started doing that promoting my show, like 15-20 second little, hey guys, here's the episode and go get it here, and I love that because it's just easy and it's fast and you don't have to think too much about it, because I tend to get all blah, 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 blah when I try and do it on the fly. So you don't have to do the viral dance to be seen. Personally, in my opinion, don't do it. It just, if you want to stand out, why do you want to do the same thing that everybody else is doing? I mean, I get it. Algorithmically, it's like, you see what's trending and everybody jumps on board and the social media sites love that. But if you want to stand out, just do things like this. Do quick 15-second hook from a song from like your latest release or another song that you want to get more ears on. Recording snippets, these don't have to be long, but when you're recording something or you're in the studio, just 15 seconds of footage will go such a long way, and you don't have to overthink it. I mean, even if you're in a rehearsal, you can just post that and it's done, throw some hashtags on it and boom, and you've got it. You don't really have to put a lot into it. If you want to get a little deeper and interact with your audience a little more, you could pull a special lyric from one of your songs, and it might be a 10-second lyric or something, and just sing that lyric, and then in the copy you can write a little bit more about it. So there's just some ideas to capitalize a little more on the short form. There we go.
Short form, both work. Short term,
short term video.
That's stories.
Terminal videos. Which you can also, that's why the short form video is good though, because you can just share it in the story and you will see that entire video. How many times, Mike, have you seen a video that went longer than the 15 or 20 seconds in stories? What does it take for you to actually click on that to watch the whole thing? I rarely do it.
Hardly ever. For a story specifically, hardly ever. For the real, for reels or, for TikTok videos, that's a different story usually.
Exactly.
And again, that depends upon the content, right? So at that point, it really depends upon the content and what that is. So is it something that's relatively short? Is it a bit? Is it, like you said, something that's educational, inspirational,
right?
Whatever the case is, right? So there's lots of different ways to go about it. And I agree with you. The viral dance part is always interesting. If that's your thing, if you really like doing that, I think that's the big takeaway here. And I know, at least for myself, I hear this all the time, is that the gripe I get is, oh, I don't want to do what everyone else is doing. Well, good, then don't.
Don't. Yeah.
If you
Nobody's telling you to.
but also at the same token, if you do like jumping on the trends because you want to be a part of that conversation and that's exciting to you and what you like about these social platforms, then do it, right? If you enjoy that part, there's no downside. I think the problem is when you feel like you're being pigeonholed into creating content just because everyone else is doing it the exact same way, and now you don't like it because that's not who you are. You can't think of it that way. You have to think of it as, this is the kind of expression that I want to have, the kind of content that I would like to release, and then you put it out there and then you see who likes it in return.
Yeah.
And that's the big part too. You got to find out who likes it. And fortunately, there's so much that's being released. I think I heard some stat before. It's like, for every one person, like when you're scrolling through, there's like going to be like thousands and thousands of potential options for what you're going to be seeing next. I mean, it's insane, right?
Yes.
So, if you look at it that particular way, there's always going to be something different for everybody.
Yeah.
And even the individual person is going to like different things, right? You may have the same person like a viral dance that's also maybe a fellow musician that's going to want to know
Right.
on, I don't know, a certain chord progression. I'm just pulling
Yeah.
stuff
Yeah.
out of the
No,
air
I
now,
get it.
but you do what you like to do and then find out if other people like it as well.
Yeah, that's the bottom line is like, if you're not feeling it, don't do it. And
Yep.
sometimes those viral dances might absolutely 100% align with your music or what you're doing.
Yep.
So there's that too. Sure, jump on that. I really like, so there's a band we both know, Paper Foxes,
Mm-hmm.
and their new single, he did a bunch of videos that were movie clips of dance scenes, different
Oh,
dance,
that's cool. I like that.
and he synced it up with the single, and they're really cool to watch. And there was one where I was like, is that their music video? I actually thought that for one of, and it wasn't. It was just some random clip of some dance scene somewhere. And I was just like, I mean, that's genius. And so I really like how they use that for their marketing of their new single with all these different dance scenes from film and TV and stuff like that. So yeah, there's always ways, but don't never feel like you have to. If you're not feeling it, social media is not the job. That isn't what you are signed up for. You're signed up as a musician, and you're using social media so that people can find you and hopefully become a fan of your music.
Exactly.
All right. Number 3, collaborate.
Ooh.
I mean, always, right? Joint shows together. I mean, I did this all the time with KWSS, right? It was like, who can I get together for this show so that we can all work together, and it helps the station. It helps the musicians. All of it works together. So trying to find shows that maybe you can do together. And that can go back to what you're saying about the videos and other musicians going, hey, this band's cool. I want to see how I can work with them, right? Reach out. If you see something like that, don't just keep scrolling. If something actually speaks to you, send them a DM, just a little DM. This is great. I'm a musician too. We have the same music, same type of music, not the same music. Let's see how we can work together. Also, another one is kind of what we're doing right now, guest spots on podcasts, right? Interviews, reach out to podcasters. I don't know if I'm going to post this video. I probably should post this video because it's pretty hilarious. Reach out to podcasters for interviews, to have your music played. I know that podcasters are always looking for music, background music or theme music or something like that. Whatever you need to do. And it doesn't necessarily have to be a music podcast. It can be any type of podcast. Think about the type of things that you listen to and see how you can work your music into that.
That's a good one. I appreciate you landing on one that is a universal aspect of promoting yourself, which is collaboration. And it's something that often is overlooked. And actually, I built almost my profession around collaborations.
I was just going to say the same thing. I wouldn't be where I am today if I didn't collaborate.
Yep. It is a very social thing. Especially when it comes to making art, making content, because I'm going to make it even broad level here. Obviously, of course, it relates to music, but even on a broad scale, it's a social thing. And so you need to be talking to other people, other musicians, other people in the industry, fans, just fans of your own music fans in general, whatever the case is.
Yeah.
But it is a social thing, and that's how you're going to connect with other people. That's how you're going to get feedback. That's so important to do to any kind of collaboration. Also, like you mentioned too, cross promotion. You've been on podcasts. That's another way for people to find out about your music, to find out more about you.
Yeah.
Because people want to know about you too.
Exactly. And that connects with fans even more too. I mean, I just saw a thing online, and the basic premise was, it isn't your music that gets your fans to love you. They may discover your music that way, but what gets fans to love you is getting to know you, getting to know the musicians, getting to know the people involved, who's writing it, who's singing it, what are they doing? And I think that's important. Well, there we go. All right, end of show. Thanks, Mike.
Bye.
It's all about me, right? No.
It always is always about you.
Even when I'm on your show, it's about me. So,
well, now then you're the guest, so that's a different story.
True. Well, yeah. All right. Okay, that was part 1 of my interview with Michael Zimmerlich. And next week, as I said at the top of the show, I will post the second half of our conversation. I hope you enjoyed it. And I really appreciate you all listening, and you will hear me again soon. You've been listening to the Scene Mom Says podcast. Intro, outro music is Look Good for the Radio by Fairy Bones. Learn more about Danny and the show at dannycutler.com.